Hi, it is me, Mary Jean Ziska. It's 1:54 p.m. It's the 29th of May, 2015, which makes it Friday, and it's 85 degrees. I'm in my kitchen eating area. Let's do this. You can see who I am. I decided to do this and call it My Unfinished Dreams. I don't know if I'm going to have to send this to judges or doctors or somebody else about what I wanted, who I am, what I like, etc. And so I thought I'd actually make a video, hopefully to demonstrate the things that I had planned with my life that I never got to actually do because I've been spending pretty much the last 15 years fixing everything people have decided to ruin in my life, from the identity theft to the actual theft to the bullying, harassment, to pretty much everything that they've broken, destroyed, ruined, and stolen. So anyway, this is going to be called My Unfinished Dreams. And I introduced myself already, and I wanted to talk about, let's see, I had a faux painting business, so I ended up wanting to, I saved up enough money to go to interior design school, had checked on the Art Institute over in Fort Lauderdale. I had actually traded in my little red Mazda, fully paid off when I moved in here in 1999, for a black Durango with a tan interior. It was bigger and had a large trunk area for the faux painting supplies, and also it was a sturdy, secure car, and I planned on using that to go to interior design school back and forth, along with running a business, along with, you know, upkeep of my condo and doing all of those kind of things, which I never got to do. The last time I checked into that, let's see, I checked in 1998, 1 year before moving into my condo, which is one of the reasons my parents, my mother, my father, and myself decided on this condo. It had a great den area that I originally turned into an art studio so that I could create sample boards and do my faux finishing. I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see, that's the top, the ceiling area. I did those clouds. I'll have to wait and see if that actually comes out looking like nice clouds. And I just have always turned to doing different faux finishes. I had one whole wall where I used to practice all kinds of different techniques, and I wanted to show you on, well, the idea was we ended up having an old refrigerator, so I had to paint it. It was old and rusted, and that was the refrigerator that was a replacement of one that was broken. Even in here, you can see it was at Thanksgiving that I had to spend by myself. The cabinets were looking a little bit old, so I ended up working on those. This is a freezer that I actually did a stencil. Let's see if you can actually see the clouds a little better. And this was my business, the M&M Decorative Painting business. In another video I mentioned the table and then the floor cloth. It's hard to actually see. I wish I could actually see and do this at the same time. And that's my lanai area. My sister Maddie and I actually worked together. We did, you can see the background over there. It's actually just a wall where we painted a little mural to give it a more open look. This, of course, is also the faux finishing. Did this floor cloth and then the brickwork. You can kind of see that's the brickwork. And over here, different brickwork. I also did stencils on 2 different walls. This is also showing that the pictures that I took really do match my condo. So it wasn't just a day where I was fixing everything. This was, or is, how it is. It's clean, it's neat, it's organized. And those are the finishes that I was able to do on my wall. Also, let's see. So going back, I wanted to show, this is my kitchen eating area. This is a decorator's board that I created with ideas of what I actually had planned as far as wall color, as far as materials. You can see a nice little linen. I had originally wanted plantation shutters, granite countertops. This is a picture of or a sample of a chandelier I thought would look great on the outside area. What I had actually picked out to do for the guest bedroom with a nice little chandelier. I originally wanted wood floor. I wasn't allowed to get that. And just different sofas. And this is the stencil that I used all over the place. I like everything organized in baskets. Shelving, pictures of a new sofa. It was wasn't too extravagant, but it was just, I wanted my environment to be neat and organized. I wanted to be able to actually feel comfortable, creative. I wanted a nice home, but that was not going to be the case, or not yet. Let's say that God is in charge and not a bunch of crooks who've done nothing but lie, cheat, and steal from me. So if we can actually count on having a great life, perhaps I'll get to take interior design courses in the future. And then I'd actually been interested in MBA classes. So I wanted to go into, that I actually had written a story called My Gingerbread Man. Let's see if I have that over here. I have it put up with a piece of tape. But anyway, this is a story I wrote. I also have a website, www.mygingerbreadman.com. My original plans when moving in here, I thought I could write a nice little cute story about dating or internet dating, about finding the right guy, about God's plan for our life, our destiny, about how he actually has the right person. But it's now 2015 and I haven't met anything close to a perfect gingerbread man or someone that actually fits within the criteria of being honorable, decent, just a great guy. So anyway, I've got a lot of criteria for that, but that was another unfinished dream that I had had for my condo and for living here in Naples, Florida. And let's see, businesses and philanthropies. I originally had M&M Decorative Painting and was planning on, I worked and helped my mother with her babysitting business, which was, actually worked 2 years with that, for her business, strictly for her business, without doing anything on my own. And that was a Tender Loving Care service, or a Tender Loving Care, where I had hoped to actually make sure that she could use the resources available. She had a contract with the Waldorf Astoria for a full year, so I was hoping she could use those connections and that introduction to the Waldorf to create a type of franchise where she could establish in-house babysitting businesses within each of the different hotels. I thought that'd be a great way for her to expand. Her babysitters and I disagreed on quite a few of the expansion plans, and it's a shame because Sitter City, Donnie Deutsch actually did a whole show on the big idea, and the Sitter City was able to be a $5 million business years and years ago. And if she had actually, if the people involved who had taken over my mom's business had wanted to expand and to do what was necessary, it would have also been a multi-million-dollar business. She had everything in place, and it's kind of a shame that it didn't turn out that way and that there were a lot of people who got to lie, cheat, and steal and had to use different businesses, including my M&M decorative babysitting, or my M&M decorative painting business, for their own selfish intent and for their own resources, instead of looking to a general resource or a business that could actually do a lot. I'm very concerned with being able to actually give back, and I thought her babysitting business and even the etiquette school that I tried helping her to establish, the ATLC prep school, I thought it was a great avenue for helping students to be able to not only do the internships, which could give them college credits, but also making sure that we could give back. She should have been able to establish scholarships. She should have been able to do so much to actually help not only sitters, not only families, not only students, but be able to actually make a huge impact and a difference. I know there's tons of children that don't have the summer programs, the school programs for food. WayFM's done different peanut butter and jelly programs, and I've looked up Lauren Bush is working with Feed, and there's a ton of different organizations that actually help children in America and overseas. So I do tithing to, let's see, I can actually read that. I tithe to the 700 Club. Humility of Mary is the boarding school that I attended. Joel Olstein, Joyce Myers, the St. Jude Children's Hospital. And I'd love to be able to do more right now, of course. As I've mentioned in other videos, these 15 years have put me in a position that, well, I shouldn't have been in, but that have pretty much keep me on a different level of where I thought God had intended my life to go. So, talking about philanthropies and foundations, I worked with Kappa Alpha Theta is my sorority from college. They have some great philanthropies and foundations, and in fact, the school that I tried helping my mother establish was with the Emily Post Institute, or is what I thought would have been great. Again, the babysitters and different people in charge, since I didn't have financial control of the business or of the direction of different companies, had different plans. And it's just a shame, because I think so much could have been done, and so much could have been done so much better. But anyway, on a next point, I actually hope that in the future I can continue. I was checking into Villa Maria actually has a farm on the property, and when I saw a couple different, like in the 700 Club, or it was one of the different programs on television, people have been giving food to people who can't eat, and I just thought, in my heart, I actually have a great connection to the story in the Bible that's with the fish and the bread. The little boy who had the fish and the bread, Jesus was able to multiply everything so he could feed the multitudes. And I think that there's actually a lot of opportunity for creating, I saw in one of the even cooking shows, there was an organic greenhouse that pretty much looked like it was self-sufficient. I talked to some people from Villa Maria. I never got to talk to the actual gentleman who was the farmer, who worked at the farm and supposedly set up an internship program for summer students. But I can keep trying to call. I don't know why my phone calls and my emails are never returned. But as I've mentioned before, isolation is a way of controlling if you're stealing somebody's identity or pretty much ruining somebody's life, or you need to have lies told about competency or any of those kind of things. Being able to actually control a situation has been pretty much the norm for a long time here. So anyway, back to greenhouses. I think it would be a great avenue to actually, instead of just feeding the people, either in foreign countries or even the school children, be able to actually create greenhouses where foods were actually produced, and be able to teach so many valuable lessons, and be able to actually if they can sell the produce at farmers markets, be able to teach them about commerce, be able to teach them about ownership, property, be able to teach them about taking care of something other than themselves, and being able to actually even give back, help disabled or the elderly, so that they can actually also have foods that could be produced within these greenhouses. But we'll see what happens with that. So far, none of the different ideas that I've actually been able to come up with have been able to become full-fledged ideas and businesses or working with philanthropies or anything of that nature. And most of my time is spent fighting off identity thieves, the people who've stolen money, who've stolen clothing, who've stolen jewelry, who've pretty much made it their purpose in life to destroy my life. So I wanted to go into some of the different, on a positive note. I wasn't going to go into any of the negative stuff that's happened, but this is, let's see, this is what I wrote. It was my unfinished dreams, is what I was going to call this video. There was a great deal on the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is where I actually came up in 2005 with the idea of philanthropy, not the idea, but somebody they had actually talked about philanthropy TV. And if you carefully read through, you can actually come up with great ideas. I love the Google Speak, and also the whole idea of making a workplace and a work environment so not just friendly, not just inviting, but making it so that people actually want to work there, and making it convenient, and being able to actually, because I think your employees are the basis, they can actually bring so much more than most people give them credit for. I love this book, The New Gold Standard, but I love the Ritz-Carlton. I absolutely adore the Ritz-Carlton. And I love this book, Girl's Guide to Building a $1 Million Business. These are some of the books that I used to be able to actually read. I, at one point in time, was always getting these, the Harvard Business Executive Education Program Catalog. Great classes. I've never been able to take any. I had friends in high school, Mary Wong, Sue Jung from boarding school, who actually got to take Harvard classes. Not those, but also the Harvard Business Review. I love this magazine. And I don't know, there's so much. Here's the Bloomberg Business Week. Love that magazine. Love Entrepreneur magazine. And at one point in time, I had to actually put my name and number of my magazines because they seem to keep disappearing. There's Forbes. Love that magazine. And this is more on the Ritz. But there's so much that's available. It's just a shame that I've had to use my entire 15 years here. Actually, this is the Ritz Spa, the Ritz things. But anyway, a lot of this, Connie Nast. At one point in time, I thought it would be fun to actually be one of those secret shoppers and go into different hotels and be able to actually give reports. But that never happened. Aramco World, this is because I actually grew up in Ras Tanura, Saudi Arabia, which again, so thankful and grateful. Oh, here's another Aramco World. That I had that opportunity because my dad took a great job and we were able to, and smart money. So anyway, those are some of the different magazines that I actually like, some of the different books that I actually like. Radio stations, I pretty much listen to Christian radio. If you could see through my house, it's basically neat, organized. I like things neat and organized, and not incapacitated or incompetent. And I have actually my billings for the last 7 years for my bank account that proves I pay my bills and pay them on time. I created this video just to actually try to be a more positive video of what I actually do like, what I had hoped that these 15 years would actually accomplish. I wanted to be able to actually have dinner parties, a little herb garden, wanted a German Shepherd pet. I actually used to walk on the treadmill and used to walk outside, then I walked on the treadmill, depending on the weather situation, until I had a horrid experience with a pedicure over at it was a gift certificate I was given for a pedicure at the Waldorf Astoria, where someone sliced open my cuticle and my toe was not only infected, became full of fungus, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, there's been a lot of good things that could have happened. There's been a lot of bad situations and bad experiences that have happened. But I wanted to actually put down what my hopes and dreams had been for what this condo was supposed to mean for me, as far as friends, dinner parties, being able to enjoy the environment, being able to take tennis lessons, be able to learn to play golf. I was given a set of golf clubs by my cousin that I actually just had to sell to make sure that I could have finances because of the person who stole the money and opened up the bank account at Fifth Third Bank. So there was supposed to be a lot of, this is life here in the Strand in Naples, Florida, was completely supposed to be different, and the opportunities were supposed to be available. I moved in with a fully paid off car with a business that I had turned into a business from a hobby, and I was able to, through the grace of God, make it into a fairly successful business, and had a lot of hopes and wishes and dreams. So that's what this was supposed to be, where you could start fulfilling hopes and wishes and dreams. And maybe, just maybe, miracles do happen, and huge financial miracle and protection from harm will actually still be able to happen. I don't know why this keeps freezing, but hopefully we'll see what happens. But anyway, I just wanted to put it in a video, who I am, what my unfinished dreams were supposed to be, how I had planned or what I thought life in this condo. It's a beautiful condo. It's a beautiful location. It's just some really bad people who actually have pretty much ruined everything. So again, I'm still searching for justice, and you can check out the website www.mysearchforjustice.com. You can read some of the nicer excerpts. I actually, most of those blogs have gotten messed up too. But as far as My Gingerbread Man, it was supposed to be a lot of fun finding out. I never got to date while I've been here. I mean, really date somebody who's been a great guy. It's been, I wouldn't say it was an interesting experience. I wouldn't say it was a great experience, but I would say that I actually had a great life growing up. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, lived in Florida, St. Croix, grew up in Saudi Arabia, 1973 to 1983, went to boarding school from when I was 14 years old. And this keeps freezing, which doesn't happen on the other laptop and the other movie maker. I don't know why. But anyway, boarding school at what now is the Humility of Mary Convent. Being able to go to school in France, an amazing, great experience. Thankful every day to my father, Elwin Joseph Ziska, and my mother, Marian Ziska, for those opportunities. And be able to go backpacking in Europe. Finished college at the University of Florida. Was able to turn a hobby into a business, and moved into a condo in 1999 where my life was supposed to just blossom and prosper, but instead it's been quite a nightmare. So hopefully with my search for justice, we'll be able to stop all the criminal activity, change laws, and make sure people are aware of the injustice and the corruption that's been involved with people stealing identities, people taking over as guardians or limited guardians, and be able to make a difference so that when somebody has hopes, wishes, and dreams, that they will be able to have them fulfilled and that, you know, the crooks won't be in charge, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for your time, for listening, and if you have any comments, if you have any resources on how to make sure that justice can be accomplished, that would be great. Otherwise, I think this video is more for making sure that the people in charge know that what they've done is ruin a perfectly happy life. A girl who was happy, who's ambitious, who was loving and caring and trusting, and was actually called sweet and nice. And yeah, it ruined my life. So hopefully, I'm 48 years old now, so hopefully we'll have still some time to rectify all the damage, and maybe I'll still be able to finish Hopes and Wishes and Dreams. And I pray that these actually will be accomplished. Okay, anyway, thanks for listening, and take care. God bless. Bye-bye. And we'll see how that turned out.